Hi, everyone. How are you tonight? Thank you for joining. So good to be here. I'm back from my little break last week. I appreciate everyone who's tuning in. I just wanted to thank everyone for your comments and checking in. Everything is going so well, and I'm so glad to be here. So tell me how you're doing. Let me know what's going on. Hi, Sharon. So good to see you. Hi, Donna. I'm so excited to announce that next week I will be back to Psychics Unite, the Monday night meeting. So it's going to be so good to see everyone again in person. I'm just so excited to be back into the swing of things in the community. So, hi, Greg. So good to see you here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Tonight, I want to do something just a little bit different. And instead of covering a particular topic, I wanted to do an energy reading for the next 7 days. So what this looks like is I have an oracle deck here. I'm pulling from Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom. Woo, that's difficult. Wisdom of the Hidden Oracles tonight. And so I'll be pulling a card for the next 7 days, a card a day, and just kind of going over what might be coming up for us energetically. And I'll be using not only the message that comes up in the card, but my own insights that I get tonight. Hi, Debbie. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So good to be here. So, while we're doing a reading for the next 7 days, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the chat. Otherwise, I am going to start with tomorrow, Wednesday, the 24th. What is going to be the energy collectively for us? That might be right in the microphone. I'm sorry. Hi, Barbara. So nice to see everyone here doing our energy update for the next 7 days. All right, and tomorrow I have Ice Queen. Ideas preserved, non-action, and entitlement. So this is what Ice Queen looks like, and this is our card for tomorrow, Wednesday the 24th. And so what messages I'm getting off of this immediately is that there's always a season in everything that we do. And there's sometimes a season for planning and development. There's also a season in taking divine action. And then there's also a third season to just sit back and receive. And so tomorrow on the 24th, what the Ice Queen is actually asking us to do is to preserve our ideas. We're going to take a seat back, even if it feels uncomfortable for us to take a seat back or take a back seat and not take divinely guided action. Or sometimes, like, it's not even divinely guided action. You have an idea, you want to see it come to fruit, and there's almost like there's this neediness there behind it. And so you want to do everything that you can to get the ball in motion. And sometimes when we're trying to get the ball in motion before it's actually time to get the ball rolling, we'll get a lot of resistance. And that's the universe saying, hey, I've given you this idea or these ideas to kind of sit with this energy for a little bit and let it develop, because you don't have all of the information right away, right? And so the action you think is needed today is actually not going to be what's actually needed down the road. So tomorrow is all about taking a moment or taking a beat, really sinking into being present with ourselves, acknowledging those feelings that might be coming up for us around wanting to do something, wanting to take action. Understand that it's just not the right time. That tomorrow is either going to be about incubating your ideas or in the few situations actually receiving some of that information. Also keep in mind that entitlement part that comes in. Sometimes when we are trying to manifest and we want something so big and so badly, we then start to begin feeling entitled to it. Well, I'm owed this. I want this so bad and I deserve this. Give it to me now. And we want to be very careful about that mentality as we go through our day tomorrow. So if you find that there's ever a situation where you're like, I deserve something or it's mine, give it to me. Just kind of, sit with that, be gentle with yourself and politely check yourself. Like, listen, yes, you're worthy of it. Not arguing that. But, there's nothing wrong with being worthy of something or being confident in your worth of having something. But the moment that worth starts to shift to, I deserve it, or I need it, or it's mine, you just want to be a little bit careful about stepping that back over into, hey, the universe has my back. Everything's going to come in its right time and order. I need to find something more so in this moment to find some joy and relax a little bit on my grabby energy. And so that's the card for tomorrow. Hi, Nick. Hi, everyone. Hi, Steph, Jason. So good to see you all here. So that was Wednesday, the 24th. We're going to go ahead and pull a card for Thursday, the 25th, and see what the collective energy is going to be like that for that day. All right, and now for Thursday, I have the Map Maker of Destiny. This is authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. Let's see if we can get it to, there we go, Map Maker of Destiny. And so if tomorrow is all about taking a back seat to our ideas, taking a rest and not focusing on action so much and kind of checking our entitlement, that leads right on into an energy in Thursday where we're really starting to get aligned into an authentic purpose. Now, keep in mind, these readings that I'm doing tonight, they're for daily readings. So they're going to be, they're just going to be smaller energy cycles. So it's meant to kind of resonate with your own, like what's coming in and out for you every day. So like if you've got something you've been working on, tomorrow's not going to be a great day to take action toward it. But Thursday, you're going to the time you spent on Wednesday kind of realigning things within yourself, Thursday it's going to pay off because you're really going to start being authentically truthful with yourself. You're going to have that alignment from the time that you spent on Wednesday. You're going to have inspirations. You're going to have more ideas. The ideas we had yesterday, they're going to have time to incubate on Thursday, and they're actually going to give you a greater sensation of what action to actually take for its highest and greatest good for all. And then there's also this free will that's playing in. And so one of my most favorite things about the universe is the universal law of free will. And humans across history obviously have taken this stance, multiple accounts of trying to remove someone's free will. But in our day-to-days, we actually do have a choice. We have a free will. There's always something about it that we can either say no to, regardless of who is trying to influence our decisions. We can always have the choice to push forward in something. So take the time tomorrow and be okay with not actually taking action, knowing that on Thursday you're going to have a better sense of purpose and idea of what that plan's going to unfold for you and how that's going to play out and what actions are actually needed. Now, mind you, actions can also be how we're thinking or monitoring how we're feeling. Actions don't always have to be physical things that we're doing with our hands and our feet, right? So keep in mind, too, for some of the things that might be coming up for you on Thursday, it might not actually be doing a specific physical thing. It could be something as small as researching an idea or a concept that you have, or just putting it down on a to-do list. I need to do this. Just understand that actions can be small and still have that huge impact and grand effect for us. So that was Thursday the 25th. We're going to go into Friday the 26th, leading up into the weekend for a lot of us. Ooh, and one popped out. Ooh. Okay, we've got the Hawk Prince, This is spirit communication and paying attention. So that's what the Hawk Prince looks like. And what this is telling me, I don't know, does that actually work, that trick? What this is telling me is that if we are taking each day by stride, by the time Friday gets here, we're actually really going to start opening up and getting new inspiration and new information. And when we're talking about spirit communication and paying attention, that really goes hand in hand. So even for us, I say us psychics, but we're all psychic. So even for those of us who read psychically for professionally, that's really what it comes down to, is paying attention to the subtle cues and nuances to get that message, right? And get those pieces of information. But even if you're not in a place where you're doing this full time, or you don't think that you're doing it full time, inspiration and spirit communication comes to us in like a multitude of ways. I know we've talked in the past about spirit numbers, signs, symbols, dreams, the deep, immediate desire to go one way versus another. Those are all parts of spirit communication. So on Saturday, you're going to have an opportunity that whatever projects you might be working on, or whatever items might be on your to-do list on Saturday, to really pay attention to the subtle nuances of things. And this might take a little bit of practice of being present in the moment. I know if we get busy at work or at home or while we're playing with whatever we're doing, it's very easy to lose sight and focus on the subtle things that are coming to us. And so we want to, the more that we can kind of incorporate breath work, so every hour, every 30 minutes, just taking a singular deep breath and exhaling, that allows us that moment for presence. And then when you do get the messages, or you get the inspiration that comes through to you, acknowledging what it is for what it is, that it's a gift for you to consider and see how it sits within you, because there'll be a bigger message for you on Friday, right? Understand also that spirit communication often comes through to us as creative solutions. So I know that when I was in corporate, a lot of the times my gifts would come through whenever there was a problem that I was in charge of solving or a part of solving. And getting those inspiring messages coming through and allowing those to come through and to present them in a way that they would be well received, right? To be able to solve that problem. So along all of the other things that could come through for you on Friday, also take note of any amazing creative streaks that you have. If you've got a scheduling conflict and then all of a sudden the idea comes to you on how to get it sorted out, that was a gift, and just maybe practicing some gratitude. So that was the Hawk Prince for Friday, the 26th. And now we're going to go for Saturday, the 27th, and see what is our energy for Saturday, the 27th. All right. So we've got the Wise Woman of Wonderland. And the key words here are integrity and compromise. It's going to take some practice for me to figure out how to get this to where you guys can see it. And it's just a little out of focus, but integrity and compromise. So on Saturday, you may be finding yourselves in a situation or a position where you are really wanting something to happen or unfold. And maybe it's not going to happen without the partnership of someone else. And there might be some conflict there on how it's going to unfold for you. The idea is that obviously our biggest opportunity to co-create with ourselves, one another in spirit, is that compromise. So, especially even when we're compromising with spirit on a co-create, or even when we're co-creating with spirit, there's always an option to compromise, and knowing that whatever is unfolding is actually for our highest and greatest good. So if I want $100,000, but in my head, it has to come from this source by this day in this manner. Spirit was like, yeah, we can give you $100,000, but we actually have different ideas on the who, how, what, and why. And so that's an opportunity where you can compromise, because honestly, whatever spirit comes up for you or comes up for your is going to be for your highest and greatest good. It's going to be better than whatever you can imagine here. And so we're asked actually that even when we're working with our human counterparts on Saturday, that the same can also be true. If you come to the table with an idea or an expectation on how something should unfold, and it's looking like it's not going to happen the way you want it, but it could still happen in another way, definitely encouraging you to look outside of yourself, see if there's a common ground that you guys can stand on to still get the same result in a different way. And then if you're just really resistant to compromise, that's an opportunity also to look within yourself and understand why. Connecting with yourself, spending some time doing some breath work, and journaling to be really honest with yourself on why that compromise is difficult for you or could be difficult for you. Um, and then the integrity portion is, the first thing we want to do is look at our integrity. We always want to honor our integrity. We want to honor our word. We want to honor our core values, whatever those might be for us. They're different for everyone. And if anything that you're working with goes against your integrity, that could be another reason why you need to compromise. Maybe it's someone else coming to you with a set plan or intention, and it's not actually unfolding the way that you would like for your highest and greatest good. And so it's kind of your responsibility then to work with spirit, get some of that divine creativity and insight on how you can still make it work, but look for different ways to make it happen. And that was Saturday, the 27th. Hi, Ingrid. So good to see you. Hi, Candy. Hi, Candy. Do you have a question about one of the cards I've pulled or one of the days coming up? I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for Sunday, the 28th. And see what the collective energy is for Sunday, the 28th. So the card we have is called the Diamond Dreamer. And it's got material wealth and true prosperity. And that's our card for Sunday, the 28th. So what I'm getting off of this card is that there's always an opportunity for us to become more intimate on how we are measuring our wealth. Obviously, there's the largest standpoint of measuring wealth by money, material gains, possessions, security. You can measure your wealth by your friends, your family. There's a number of ways to measure wealth. I mean, honestly, if it was important enough to you, you could measure wealth by the number of marbles you have in your marble pack. I've seen some very serious D&D players measure their wealth by the number of dice sets they have, and there's no real wrong or right way to measure your wealth. The message behind this card, though, is specifically around material wealth. So the amount of possessions we have, the amount of money we have, our belongings, And I want you to challenge yourself on how you're looking at your material wealth and how you're assigning true prosperity. So it's one thing to say, I have everything that I need at the time that I need it, which is a very secure, trusting, faith based statement that we can work with a spirit on. It's another thing to say, wow, I'm losing some of my possessions and now all of my true prosperity is going out the window. It's an opportunity to, I think, ground within ourselves so that we can get very secure on Sunday. If something's to come up that looks like it might be a material loss or even a material gain, take a look at how you're assigning that true prosperity to it. How does it make you feel? And once you figure out how it makes you feel, then go deeper. Because often when we look at how something makes us feel, we're only doing the surface, and sometimes it's layered like an onion. And so I think even with the things that we assign a positive or a good label to, there's still some troublesome underlying components there that we can do better at being aware of. I'm so sorry. I think my allergies are, it's making my nose itch. Um, so, for example, perhaps on Sunday you get a small windfall. You found $100 that you didn't know about, and it just sends you reeling over the edge, excited about, oh, well, how could I spend this money? Or stimulus checks are flowing in for some of us. Maybe you get your stimulus, and all of a sudden you're feeling like, I don't know, something really big and exorbitant, something bigger than yourself. Take a look at what this means for you and how it means for you, because I think we have an opportunity to redefine how our material wealth and our true prosperity, what those two things mean for us. And that is on Sunday, the 28th. I'm just reading Candy's comment here. So Candy asks about paying respects to a recent aunt who passed on the side of the family where her fathers and sisters treated her poorly. She had some challenges on the way to the funeral. Hey, Scotty, thanks for joining. I know those of us who belong to Shadow Hunters, it's always a challenge on whether it's our comment or someone else's. So it Candy Hun, it just feels like there's a lot of transition happening all together. And for you particularly, I think it's not a question of whether you're being tested. It's just a question of you being asked to get grounded within yourself. So it's a matter of you taking this situation and figuring out what some of the different energetic parts are coming up for you in it and what that means for you, and using your own intuition to make the decisions based off of that. And I wouldn't recommend that for everyone, just for you specifically, because you are in a time in your life right now where you're asked to really get intimate with your intuition, like where you're going in your future. This is a doorway that you're going to have to walk through, and to be able to walk through this doorway, this proverbial doorway, the best way to do it is to really get very clear on your energy and the messages that you're getting from it, and then having the trust and the faith of the messages that are coming up for you. So I'm also getting the message that there could be some energy that you are holding on to from that side of the family that would benefit you to clear before you were to try and heal, mend, or go forward. And no, this isn't about you having any guilt. It's not It's not a guilt thing. It's just a training thing. It's just a practice thing. So it's like anyone who picks up a bike for the first couple times, they may fall, but having the consistent rhythm of getting back up on the bike and continuing to do that, or continuing a regular daily practice that will help you strengthen your skills. That's all this is about. This is what it's asking. Yeah, it just, Candy, I hear you. It's just going to keep them consistent. It's just going to be, it's more about, today is great. What are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do tonight? How are you going to do it throughout the day? So the one thing, and this is a message for everyone, the biggest thing that I'm learning right now, or the biggest thing I had to learn in the past, is that spiritual practices is a lot like washing your hands. You can't just set it and forget it in the morning all the time. There's a lot of times you got to revisit it throughout the day. And that just takes practice and awareness and stepping up to it. So, for instance, when I first started learning how to clear and cleanse and protect my energy, I do it in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm great. And then by the afternoon, I'd be like, why isn't this working anymore? And it's just because you kind of got to refortify it. I love the love that's going on in the room right now, too. Thank you, Greg, for the love and sending that to all of us. Yes, Barbara, get it while you can. I'm going to get it while I can. And we're going to give it back so we can all give and receive. I love that. Wonderful. So, Candy, I hope that helped. Hit me up offline if it didn't. I understand. I feel how tricky it is. And it's part you just stepping into your gifts and having faith on that. It's another part of you clearing some past trauma and healing and that kind of thing too. All right. Now we're going to go on to Monday the 29th and see, and I'm so sorry if the shuffling is loud. It's like right in front of the microphone. See what's going on for the collective energy Monday the 29th. Ooh, that card wanted to be seen. All right. So getting a lot of underlying messages about how the divine creator speaks to us through our creativity. And this one's no different. So Monday, the 29th, is the dream walker, dreams, the collective good, and illusions. And immediately what came up for me when I'm reading this is that we are meant to daydream. And I think that is one of the biggest gifts we have as humans that has been scolded, taught out of us, judged out of us, made us to feel ashamed. It's not productive. We live in a society, I should say, where it's considered not productive or it's wasteful. And that always makes me so sad. Because without our daydreams, we don't get to joyfully play with the divine. Our daydreams are what help us stretch and grow outward. It's what allows us to imagine new concepts and wonder, what if? What if I could fly? What if I could dance on water? What if I could meet someone randomly that happens to be my best friend for the rest of my life? Like all of these little what ifs, we are taught from a very young age to not entertain anymore. And so now that we're all adults, what happens is if we get that what if, which is this beautiful spark of divine intervention, we immediately are like, no, that's nonsense. Stop playing. Stop being ridiculous. Stop dreaming. It doesn't do you any good. It sets you up for failure. We teach ourselves that. We start entertaining things that are going to disappoint us in the future. And that is just a crime. So on Monday, I challenge everyone to make it a practice to dream or daydream throughout the day. What the energy on Monday is going to help us do is actually tap into the collective good. And so we're really going to be opening up to some new playful ideas that are not only going to bring joy to our life, but they're also going to entertain future realities. And so when we're manifesting things into our life, the more we can find and feel joy in every moment of our day, the quicker the things that we want to manifest will come. So if I'm cleaning and I don't like the cleaning that I'm doing, the first thing I do is turn on music and I pretend my mom is a dance partner, or I start singing my own songs, and that immediately starts evoking joy. And then while I'm singing, I'm like, what if I did karaoke one night and there was someone in the crowd who's like, I need you in my band. And then we toured the United States. Like, that's how it starts, just getting lost in yourself and not squelching those daydreams as they come up, because they're beautiful little gifts that God gives us for a reason, to be able to feel happy and joyful, but also to imagine what if? What if in these most beautiful, playful ways could these things come up? So that's Monday. Try to do some daydreaming. And I think the illusions portion of that card that they're talking about is exactly that. The illusions where we tell ourselves that's nonsense. Stop entertaining that. It does you no good to play. Anyone who hears that little voice inside of them, the moment they start having fun is, oh, it's dangerous to have fun. Better step back, better straighten up, better be serious, right? Like, challenge that a little bit. Look within yourself a little bit deeper, especially on Monday, and say, why do I feel that way? Why is it hard for me to let my guard down? Why is this form of vulnerability a little bit uncomfortable for me? And how can I dip a foot in from a toe or a leg? Or how can I just go swimming in it? Yeah, daydream check. Yeah. Yep, we're going to daydream on Monday. Yeah, and that's, and you're absolutely, Barbara, it brings, it does, it gives us hope. It's those moments where it's almost like a little break from our reality, to let us know that there's just so much more available to us. All right. And all the way up through next Tuesday, where I'll air again, the 30th. Let's see what the collective energy will be next Tuesday. This card. The Keeper of Scales, fairness and balance. Whoop. The message that I'm getting from this card is this is actually more about how we are perceiving ourselves. So I would say if there's anyone out there who is working with energy next Tuesday on a disagreement or something, or project where things are having a difficulty coming together, know that regardless of what it looks like or feels like to you, the universe is working in the background to create fairness and balance. So if it looks like or feels like that the scales are tipping outside of your favor, understand that there may be something better that you're not imagining, and have some faith and trust in letting it kind of unfold in the way that it's going to. That's just going to take some dedication. That's going to take some humble honesty with yourself. The good news is you don't have to talk about it with anyone else if you don't want to, but just be honest with yourself and understand that you may not always have the best idea, which is sometimes really hard for me to hear. But, years of working with others in collaborative situations really helps kind of bring that notion home. And I'm glad that this kind of naturally transitioned into how you're how you're talking with yourself, because that was the immediate thing that came up with this card, is that this also feels like some of us on Tuesday might be working with issues where we're having a challenge in feeling fair and balanced with ourselves. So I'm hearing a lot of judgmental talk to ourselves. I'm hearing a lot of judgment. This might come across as, no, you can't relax until all of your work is done. I don't care how much you think you need a break, you got to get the work done. Well, that's not fair. It's not realistic and it's not healthy. And I think a lot of us repeat those messages to ourselves over and over and over again. And then we end up being really sad because our best friend and our soulmate, which is ourselves, is constantly criticizing ourselves for knowing what we need and denying ourselves for that. So, two things next Tuesday. Understand that you may need to compromise because there's a bigger plan that you don't see yet. But also keep in mind that if there's ever a situation where you're kind of struggling yourself between what you think you should do and what you want to do, consider doing what you want to do just a little bit at least. Because the reason why you want to do it is because it's needed. And sometimes to be more productive, we need to take rest and relaxation. So that takes us through the next 7 days. I hope everyone's enjoyed tonight's energy reading. I plan to do more of these. I think I'll do this again next Tuesday as well. And I'm so glad that everyone asked questions were appropriate. Let me know if anyone has any questions over the next 7 days. Let's see, Steph. Oh my God, that's the best advice ever. I hope everyone takes a look at what Steph is suggesting, because I completely agree. If we can be goofy and whimsical, the more we can bring that energy into our life, the more we're in tune with that childlike self of ours, the more we're going to be in tune with that divine creativity that comes through naturally for us. So glad you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait to be back here again next week, and I can't wait to be back into Psychics Unite on Monday nights. I miss everyone so dearly. So enjoy the warm weather if you have it where you're at. If not, find ways to creatively enjoy your environment. I love you all so much. Please return back here tomorrow night for the Scotty Rourke Show, and I can't wait to see that. And I hope everyone's going to have fun this week. All right. Good night, everyone. I love you.